All right, welcome back. And today we're going to be taking a look at this lovely graphics card. Yes, it is a graphics card, believe it or not. And this is a GT 1030. Yes, a GT 1030 in, well, when this video comes out, it might be 2021 or the end of 2020. But still, and today, a GT 1030. The reason why I'm doing a video on this graphics card is for two reasons. Number one, it is hard to find a graphics card right now for these budget builds that are decent. And even though in my opinion, and we'll talk more about it, this is not the best budget graphics card, it's still something for people who are trying to play some Fortnite, Fall Guys, and other low budget titles, and maybe a little AAA here and there. Very little. Probably not much. But still. And this popped up. So I got this on the eBay. I paid $40 for it. And excuse me, I didn't pay $40 for it. I paid $60 for it. And brand new, they're going for about $80 to $90. This is the Asus GT 1030, and this is the GDDR5 variant. Now, another reason why I want to make this video is because there's two versions of this card. There's the DDR4 version and the DDR5 version. Disclosure, the DDR4 version totally sucks. If you looking to buy a GT 1030 for your small form factor builds like Lenovo, Dell, or HP, make sure when you're buying this card, it is the GDDR5 version. I'm telling you right now, the DDR4 is so significantly slower that it's not even worth it. And what's crazy about it is, if you don't catch that you're buying the GDDR4 version versus the GDDR5 version, I've seen them sell for the same price. I've seen sellers sell, hey, GT 1030, $60, buy it, $60 or $80, buy it now, whatever. You buy it, and then this thing is not performing like you would expect it to, especially for a GT 1030, and it's because you got the DDR4 version. The DDR5 version is a lot faster, great memory bandwidth, and is a decent card. So let's talk about some of these specs. So the memory spec on it is 6008. The core clock on it base is 1228. It boosts up to 1468, and this is a 30-watt TDP card, which is great for the small form factor builds where you don't have external PCI Express power and you just need something to power it in, like Dell, Lenovo, HPs. They don't have those power pins. You can pop this in, and instead of running the integrated graphics cards, you can run this and just get a little more performance out of your computer. So that's where that falls in line. It does have DirectX 12 support, and this was released in May of 2017. So the question is, why did they release this? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know why they released this, because it's not a good graphics card in my opinion. It's okay, it's decent for like low end intro to gaming people, but for the price that you're paying for it, it's definitely not worth it. Especially when you have the 750 Ti, which is 23 to 25% faster and is usually slightly cheaper than this. Yes, granted, that card was made, the 752 Ti was released in 2014, but still, a card 3 years ago is a lot faster than this, and is going to be better for the type of games that you could and would be able to play with a card like this. So that's where I'm at with it. Let's go ahead, let's take it apart, and let's just show you exactly what it looks like underneath. Now, this one is the passive cooled one, and Asus does make one that has a fan, and those are the full-size graphics card type deal. I believe MSI does make a low-profile one with a fan on it, so you do have that option. But this one, they have this massive heatsink on it, and even though it's massive, the only thing it touches is this. So this is our CPU core, and as you can see, once again, our thermal paste is like done, retired, and everything. And it's the only contact that you're going to get on it. It has this little rubber piece, so I guess it doesn't titty-totter and crack the board or something like that, but that's the only contact you had. Granted, it's only 30 watts and this thing ain't gonna run hot or anything like that, but still, I guess it's good enough for what it's doing. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna clean this card up, put some fresh thermal paste, we're gonna run some benchmarks on it, check out some games, see how it performs in some most modern games in 2020, and then we'll give my verdict and my review on it. So let's go ahead, let's clean this up, and let's play some games. Oh, the GT 1030. Why is this card just even here? I mean, just okay. So let's talk about it. So if you look at the performance on it, it was not great. We're playing most of these games, if not all of them, at 720p. Well, all of them were at 720p, and they were a combination of low to medium settings. Fortnite was able to give us, like, on medium settings, 50 to 60 frames per second, but it had occasional stutters, but eventually stabilized. And I don't give that one too much credit because that game is so glitchy as it is. Heaven benchmark, 30 frames per second on 720p high. Overclocking this card, we were able to give it a decent overclock, and if you look at the temps were manageable, and I didn't do any external cooling because right now it's like 30 degrees in my garage and I'm freezing. Can't feel my fingers, but yeah, I'm freezing. Red Dead Redemption 2 720p low settings, 20 to 25 frames per second, and had a little weird thing going on, but I was able to get it going in 20-25 frames per second. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, medium settings, 25 frames per second, sometimes 30. And if we were able to, we ran it on low, and we were able to stabilize about 30-32 frames per second. The overclock on this thing, all the overclock really did do was just give us more consistent frames. It didn't boost us up more. So if we were like sitting at, if we were going back and forth between 20 to 25, we might be stabilizing at 25, 26, but I would say the overclocking of this card just stabilizes it. It doesn't really give you that extra boost that a normal overclock would. So that's my thought on that one. So this card, should you buy it? I don't recommend it. This thing's going for like $80 new, and the performance is not there. A 750 Ti outperforms this a lot better. You could get them for about $40-50 if you're lucky with everything that's going on, and it's the better bang for the buck. Now, where does this card fall in? Is there a place? Is there a home for this card? Yeah. Small form factors, Dell, Lenovo's, HP, those computers that you just need to get a budget card, pop it in there. That's what that one falls in. But then again, if you think about it, you're spending $80 for this card, or $90 for this card for the most part, when you could probably get the equivalent 750 Ti, a 1050 Ti, or 1650 Ti for a little more. Not 1650 Ti, a 1650, sorry. You could get a 1650 low profile for about $170 to $180, so maybe $100 more, you could get a better card. And yeah, I don't really recommend this card. If you get it cheap for like $20-30, put it in your low profile. I mean, your Core 2 Duos will work fine with it, and maybe, you know, second, third gen Intel variants would work better with it. But yeah, I mean, this card, it is what it is. Thought about doing some experiments with it, but at this point I'm kind of done with it, and I really don't recommend it. I wasn't impressed with this. If you're gonna buy it, make sure you get the GDDR5 variant. Don't get suckered into the GDDR4. That's number one. And if you're gonna buy it, just keep in mind a 750 Ti, which you could get the low profile one as well. It's probably gonna be a lot better. And I'd probably go with a 1050 Ti low profile. I think I've seen them for about 140, 150. And those 1050 Ti low profiles are a lot better cards. There are double slot on them, so a lot cooler. And they don't have that supplemental power that you need, and they work just as good as this one. If anyone's asking what's the deal going on with this, this card is actually going in another build, and it's going to be like a Roblox build, very low-end Fortnite PC build, and some other low-end kitty games for that. And it only had a low-profile bracket, so I made this little Dremel tool action, painted it just to make it look better, and that worked, and actually saved me a couple of dollars when buying this. So just a little mod that you can do, and actually we'll have a separate video on that one, so just stay tuned for that so you can see how I came up with this and modded that. So just little tips for you guys to know. So that's my review. Definitely comment down below, let me know what you think of the GT 1030 in 2020. Definitely don't recommend it. What do you recommend? Would you go with a 750 Ti, 1650? I mean, where do you find value and use for this card? Definitely would like to hear from you guys on that one. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.